Bryce Harper and Manny Machado signed big name contracts. What does this mean for the league of the MLB? And how deep can they get into the postseason? All that's coming up next. Stay tuned. Good evening, YouTube. Welcome to another edition of Work to Home Vibes. I am your host this evening, Sean Ponda II. If you aren't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Also, like, comment, and share this video out. If you're on social media, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at TonyGumbo21. Now that we have got all that out the way, two of the biggest names in Major League Baseball just signed two tremendous deals. Manny Machado signed a 10-year, $300 million contract with the San Diego Padres. And just a few hours ago, Bryce Harper, winner of the Home Run Derby last season, got a 13-year, $310 or $330 million contract. Now, both of these guys are having big paydays. It was said that he was probably going to see some other teams, including my Cubs, but he shut that option down. Then he had a second meeting with the Giants, which honestly I thought that he was going to go with the Giants, seeing as it's LA, it's San Francisco, and he is, he likes that weather. But he had three teams narrowed down. Now, all of the analysts are saying that, the Major League Baseball analysts are saying that well, let me just say this. What the analysts are saying is that this is the biggest one. He's number one now. Giancarlo Stanton, who signed with the Yankees, is number two. You guessed it, Manny Machado is number three. $330 million is going to Bryce Harper. $310 million is going to Manny Machado. $330 million is going to Bryce Harper, $310 million is going to Giancarlo Stanton, and $300 million is going to Manny Machado. Now, all in all, do I think that Bryce Harper deserved this kind of contract? No. Because if you go back to my other videos, as I said, and this goes all across the lines, if you're in the NBA, NFL, MLB, soccer, whatever, it is all going to depend on how you play. Did Bryce Harper deserve that contract? No, he didn't. In my opinion, no, he didn't. Sorry about that. A rock just hit the windshield of my car. Thank God it didn't crack anything, I hope. But if you looked at my other videos, remember when I said that the way they played would determine if they would get a contract if I became a GM, if I ever became a GM. I'm glad to see that I'm not a GM because Bryce Harper would not like me that much. Bryce Harper had a career low season last season. He did. I mean, he played for one of the worst teams in the MLB, in Major League Baseball. And to show for it, he's being granted a $330 million contract for 13 years with the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, I like the Phillies. I've liked them ever since. I've liked them very much. I think they're an amazing team. You know, they got some big name folks out there. But why give him a contract that big? Did he deserve the contract? No. At least not 13 years. Maybe 5, maybe 8 to be exact. Maybe 5 or 8. But Bryce Harper did not deserve that contract. That could have been spent on getting some free agents in off season. But baseball off season was kind of everybody across here, from LA to New York to Boston, was probably saying, oh, where's Manny Machado and Bryce Harper going? Well, what about the other free agents? See, I figured it out about all sports. Nobody cares if it's a person who is not recognizable. But it's huge if a Bryce Harper or Manny Machado is a free agent and they decide that, oh, this is going to be my year to get the max contract. But guess what? They both played pretty horribly last season. And listen, I like Bryce Harper. He's a great guy. I've never met him before, but if I did, I'd say, hey, you know what? You're awesome. I like him. I like his tenacity. I like his ability to, just play the game the way it's supposed to be played. I like that. But do I think that he deserves a contract, though? Not as big as the one that he has now. Not as big as the one that he's about to sign. Do I think he should have put some years under his belt in Washington? Yes. But I understand that if you are not happy, you want to leave. But also you have to understand that just because you put in mediocre work does not mean that you should get a contract. Like I said in my previous videos, go back. I said the way if I were a GM of the Nationals or any other team or any of the other 32 or any of the other 31 teams, if this is your contract year, guess what? You better play to your full contract potential. Because if you don't, I'm not going to give you a max contract. I'm probably going to give you probably about a 4 to 5 year contract. Strategic thinking is what the GMs need to think about. Think strategically. You have other baseball players who are playing just as well or even better than Bryce Harper and Manny Machado did last season. But yet, you give them 10 and 13-year contracts? I don't think so. I do not think so. Not for me. They wouldn't get one for me. You know what? I would not care if they walked out. If they walked out, that just goes to show that they do not deserve those contracts. Now, moving on to bigger news. Moving on. Now that they are signed, now what? How do you think that they're going to do this season? Do you think they're going to do good, or do you think they're going to do decent? More importantly, how do you think their team is going to do? Their respective teams are going to do. Do you think they're going to do great, or do you think they're going to do decent? The season's just about to start, and to be honest with you, I think they're going to be okay. You know, maybe crest the playoffs, maybe hit the wild card, and then probably lose. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But I think that they should have stayed. Manny Machado should have stayed with the Dodgers. Why do you say that, Shelton? Because he fit well with the Dodgers rotation. You play with a team that sucks, and guess what? Let's just think about it like this. He goes to a team, he gets traded to a team that makes the World Series. Manny Machado goes to a team that makes the World Series. And now he wants to leave because LA is a lot better team than the Padres are. They have Dave Roberts, who won a world championship with who? You guessed it, the team that beat them last season. And yet, you go to a team in the same division as them, who hasn't been to a World Series and who hasn't been to the playoffs in set many years, if at all. Yeah. I digress. Yep. That is exactly how it is. That is exactly how it is. If you helped a team like the Dodgers get to the World Series the previous year, you should stay and try and help them get to the World Series and actually win the World Series this year. But no, he wants to go to a team that probably has a slim chance of going to the World Series as I don't even know. Bryce Harper, he is now a Philadelphia Philly. Philadelphia Phillies haven't even been to the World Series since 2008. There have been more teams that have been to the World Series than the Phillies have. Yeah, I thought so. Now, as I said, how do I think their teams are going to do? The Phillies, they might get close to making the postseason. Same goes for the Padres. I don't know, I just think that Bryce Harper shouldn't have been given that max contract because he didn't have a good season. He had a decent season, not a great season. Manny Machado, he came from Baltimore, got traded to LA. Now he's 2.5 to 3 hours in a different city. Both teams are probably going to do pretty decent, not all that good. But the season will be fresh. And we're going to see if the Padres and the Phillies get their money's worth. Because if they don't, ESPN and Fox and MLB Network are going to say, well, they were given these massive contracts and now they suck. Well, guess what? You all were the ones that were the suckers to give them the contracts to begin with. You aren't going to get a good return on your investment. You aren't. I don't care who you are. You are not going to get a good return on your investment. I'm sorry. You just aren't. That's going to be 13 or that's going to be 10 to 13 years that you wasted when you could have gotten someone for a lot better than these two individuals. And now you're sitting kicking yourself in the fish and chips because you just gave two of the biggest stars, two of the biggest whoppingest contracts in the world, and they don't produce. Whose fault is that? Upper management. The GM's fault. But had you gone with the Sean Ponder plan, then you would have had a much better return on your investment if at all possible. But that's none of my business. All I have to say is I just wish Bryce Harper, Manny Machado a great 2019 season, and we'll see how things go. I tell you what, I'm going to be watching both of them play. Both of them play pretty good. I'll retract my words. But if they play mediocre to decent to bad, then I'm going to do another video stating how bad these contracts were for them. Could be. It could be. We don't know. We'll see when September comes around how they did. Remember this video. February 28th at 6:18 Central Time. Sean Ponder II said that he will do a video in September if the Padres and the Phillies don't make it to the postseason. Anyway, I'm going to get off of here, YouTube. It's been fun. Remember, if you are new or returning, do like, share, comment, subscribe. If you are on social media, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at TonyGumble21. As always, live your life the way that you want to live it, not the way someone else wants you to. I'm Sean Pond, and I'll catch you all later. Take care.